This episode will be good for camera shy people who are not good at selling on the internet, on camera, but who want to start a side gig or maybe even a full-time business with minimum investment. Because my guest, Paul Apollonia, is an expert in eBay sales. Paul has been selling and buying on eBay since 2001. Now he can train new and experienced sellers to succeed on eBay. Paul, we are recording this conversation shortly after I published an interview with Aldi Sozels. I don't know if you saw or not, but he's a Latvian entrepreneur in Ghana right now. And I don't know if you remember, I am from Latvia. And he has an extraordinary story. He was talking about how he started his business just by seeing little opportunities. Like he saw little things that other people wanted to buy. And I don't know, this just reminded me of you.
Well,
And then you showed up on my feed on Facebook
there
talking
we go.
about coincidence. And I thought I would drop you a message and ask if you wanted to join and talk about your unique business that you started in 2001, you said?
Yeah, 2001, I started this. Yeah, I've done a lot of things. I really quickly, I'll give you just in a
Yeah,
nutshell.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, Born and raised outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Went to high school, did community college up there. Got into computers, did computer programming, computer work for probably 22 years. And then during that time, we moved to Raleigh in '93. And then in 97 and 2000, we adopted our kids from Guatemala. They were both 6 months old. And so we have kids, and now they're grown and they're gone and being adults. I did IT work till 2004, and I
Okay.
started up in that time. I've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
I I started up a auto detailing business where I
Uh-huh.
was going out washing cars out of my car, and then I eventually bought a van and I quit my IT job and did auto detailing for about 10 years. Kind of got that going. There were a lot of years where I struggled and I had it going really good for a couple of years, and then 2008 came along, that big recession, and it kind of just crushed me, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And so I moved away from that. Took me a while to get away from that. 2010, I closed that, and I found I'm just like looking around. And I'll be honest with you. Let me give kudos to Martin Brossman. He's responsible for a lot of pushing me and everything else, and helping me get started with things. And then I just fell into eBay. I just he gave me something to sell, and I sold it, and I went, oh, this is pretty cool. And I just fell more and more into eBay, started liking it more, went to a lot of eBay seminars that they had, went up to Philadelphia for a seminar there, um, went out to Vegas to a big seminar they have out there. And then in the meantime, they kind of liked me and they kind of drew me in, and I became part of eBay's government relations, where they call on certain sellers to actually go to the capital of your state and represent eBay in certain meetings. And sometimes they even call you to go to Washington, D.C. And I've been to D.C. twice,
Oh,
been kind of inside the White House. I like to tell people I was at the White House, but I was
yeah.
in an annex of the White House. I wasn't in the
Yeah.
White House, but, spoke to congressmen and senators and stuff. Um, and then I just started to really look at eBay thinking, well, what do I want to sell? And like I always tell my students, the riches are in the niches. It's sell something you know. Like if you're into golf, start with selling golf supplies, clubs, used clubs you find, whatever, shoes. If you're into, I don't know, sports of some, another sport, maybe sell stuff like that. And I just decided, well, I want to sell needs and not wants, like parts and things that people need, because everybody wants everything, but people don't have money for wants.
Yeah.
So I decided, well, let me just start selling parts. And I just, and that's where it got started. I do a lot of looking on Craigslist and Facebook for free appliances, and I take them home, part them out, take whatever's left to the dump that's not worth anything, and list the parts up on eBay. And I do a lot of eBay training too. I'm trying to get that back going down here. Boy, when you move, it's just like it's starting all over again. And
Yeah.
I'm not as young as I used to be. And I'm kind of like, well, I want to kind of tone things down a little bit, but I still enjoy it. And I'm trying to get my monthly meeting going down here. I started that in 2013, believe it or not. And I still have two people that have been coming almost every month since 2013. I mean, and I do it Zoom now. Ever since COVID, finding a meeting place is like, I wouldn't say impossible, but I'd say it's very, very difficult. Restaurants aren't as easy to give out a room for nothing, in hopes that you will buy something. So I'm looking into that, but I kind of like the Zoom mode, like kind of doing here. I'm home, you're home. When we're done, we just shut the computer off or whatever, and we go do what we want to do. But so that's about me in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot. I was listening. There are those common themes. We were just talking with Aldis about
Yeah,
that infamous 2008, how both of us fell, but he fell more. I had not
yeah,
put into, at risk as much as he had, and now you said the same thing. So it sounds like it was a trigger for you to birth something new. Were you like, it sounds like you also had a necessity, or was it just you were tired of your IT job? What was the trigger?
Uh,
What
it,
was that?
it, it's so funny because like I talk to other people that this is like you talk to somebody. This is my job. I love it. This is me. I live, breathe, and eat this. I
Mm,
mean, I was so into this that I knew like a certain computer, certain language, and like I got known all over the place. And
yeah.
and and like people would like call me and ask me questions like, well, where is this in the manual? It's over here. And then just one day, it's just weird. You wake up and you go, I'm tired of this. I'm just it's just a weird thing. Like I talk to people that have been in the same situation. They're like, they just get tired of it. And it's like, I never thought I'd get tired of it. I mean, I was making some good money too. We won't talk about that, but I'm just saying, I mean,
Yeah.
but you just get tired. And the whole thing is, then even with the detailing thing, like I'm still in contact with a lot of the auto detailers. Actually, I go every year and I'm planning on going in about a week and a half I'm in Florida, over to Orlando to a big auto detailing expo they have there. It's a 4-day expo, and I not this year I'm not doing it, but I usually do a class on how to sell your used equipment and like if you have a product line on eBay, because it's a great way for these guys in the slow season to bring in some money, to get their employees involved in something. Like I've helped out a lot of companies where, okay, show this guy how to sell my stuff on eBay and I'll give him a cut of 15% of each item he sells. So it's a great way for companies and people to make money if you're just self-employed by yourself to sell on eBay.
Yeah.
That's what I do there. And the whole thing is, and even these guys, because I've known these guys since my gosh, I mean, I've been communicating with some of these detailers since before social media, when we had Skype, when we had
Yeah.
messaging back and forth. You never even saw the people, and they all say the same thing. They say to me, and I'm not one to brag. Trust me, I'm just not into that. But they say you were able to pivot. Like when I left the IT field, I pivoted into auto detailing. When I left auto detailing, I pivoted it into into online selling, into eBay and stuff like that. So I think it's the whole art of just learning how to pivot. And when I mean like when I made these changes, I didn't have a whole lot of money in the bank, I'll be honest with you. So it wasn't like, oh, well, let me see. Now I think I'll just take a couple of months off and decide what I wanted. No, it was like, I mean, it wasn't this bad, but I mean, well, I got to feed my family. So what am I, let
Well,
me
I
make this
like
pivot.
where you are leading this conversation too, because I want to talk about the pivoting. Because I know that there are a lot of people who feel like they want to pivot, but I don't know, they don't have the courage, or what is it that you need to pivot? I'll rephrase this. What do you think would be an ideal audience for this message that you want to deliver today?
I'd say, well, especially right now, people that are, when I say laid off, I mean, like who really gets called back to a job anymore? Back in the day, they'd lay off and they'd call you back. But I mean, people that have been let go from their jobs are a perfect candidate for this. But
Yeah,
again, it's a whole, I mean, it's a whole mindset. And I am not saying I'm perfect at this, trust me.
yeah.
A lot of stuff in my head, but you just have to be able to, make a change. Now selling online doesn't mean you're going to be making a lot of money either. I mean, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to be hard at first, like everything else. But I just think you just need to be in that position where, you know, what else am I going to do? I mean, and just
Yeah.
be able to pivot into something else, whether it be online sales, another business. I mean, there's so many in this gig economy we got now. I mean, it's just, you can go out there and make some money. Back 15, 20 years ago, those options weren't there, you know.
Yeah. So basically, I'm hearing either people who want to pivot or they are afraid that they might be let go, or maybe they have already been let go. And then I also heard that you said you didn't have a lot of money when you started. So what you are going to share today is for those people who can't buy a business or buy into a franchise or anything. Is that all right? Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's where the online selling, that's where even going back to the whole auto detailing thing, you don't need a whole lot of equipment to even start that business. There's businesses out there that you don't need a whole lot of equipment to. There's people out here washing people's trash cans. It's not my thing, but I mean, whatever. But I'm just saying people like clean trash cans. So you just do what brings in money, and
Yeah,
I think they're
absolutely.
charging like $10 or $15 a trash can, and they come by every couple of weeks, and you get that going. It only takes you, and you could buy the big truck and everything, and buy a franchise, but really you don't even need that. You just need a hose, and sometimes people have to use let them use their water and everything. There's a lot of ways to make money. It's just that whole pivot process. Like I'll never
Right.
forget. When I was leaving my job, my IT job, and I mean I didn't have much money at all. One of my pod mates or cubicle mates or whatever you call them at the office was saying, yeah, I'd like to leave and start a business or do something. I see that'd be cool. Yeah, I have 4 years of my salary in the bank. Yes,
Mhm.
I said 4 years of his salary in the bank, and I'm going, okay, you know.
Uh-huh.
See, now that would be to me that'd be kind of dangerous because I'd be like, well, I've got so much money, I think I'll just chill out for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
And
I
my
do.
pivoting would not be so pivoting anymore after that. But yeah, I mean, just people just. I have no idea whatever happened to that guy. I mean, I have no idea. I like lost contact with a lot of the people there. But I mean,
Mhm.
I hope he's done something or he's moved on or he's happy with. And there's nothing wrong with working for somebody either. Like I'm not saying it's evil. It's you find a good job and they treat you well, work it and do your thing on the side. And that's another
Yeah.
thing too, all this gig stuff. You can do all this stuff on the side.
So
I mean, you can do eBay. You can make decent. I know people that just have a full-time job just for the benefits, and they actually make more selling on their eBay side or whatever they're doing than they do at their full-time job. But it's these benefits that you just can't get on your own. It's so expensive
yes.
for
Yeah.
insurance and stuff.
But you are sustaining yourself and the family just
Hmm.
with this eBay. So just to reiterate what you do, you still sell on eBay and you also
Hmm.
have courses. And those are all
Yes,
online courses? Mm-hmm.
I have a few online courses that I'm reworking because they're
Uh-huh.
kind of old, and I also do Zoom training where I'll
Uh-huh.
take somebody that wants to learn, and we'll do it via Zoom and we'll go step by step. Um, the biggest thing is, how much time can you put into this eBay business? These
Yeah.
are, these are questions I ask people at the beginning. How much time, and if they're comfortable with really opening up with me, I mean, what are your issues you're dealing with? Like, are you dealing with a sick parent that's, I mean, taking a lot of your time up, but that's something else.
Yeah.
Family issues or something, because all this stuff, I mean, it takes time to do this stuff.
Oh yeah, like everything. But there's also there's also one thing, because the first time I heard you talk about this, and it was at the Toastmasters Club when you were talking about it, I honestly I was kind of skeptical, but I will tell you why. Because I think that I was still new to this country and I didn't understand the culture, how people buy things, what people are interested in. And like, what do you think? What do you need? Insights you need to have, or culture you need to know to be successful at selling on eBay?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's something that, like I said, I'll go back to what I said before, just staying in the niche of things, like, like for example, like I can go into a thrift store and I know like what will sell and what won't sell, like coffee mugs. Starbucks mugs always sell. So if you see a
Oh,
Starbucks mug and it's not damaged and there's really nothing wrong with it, and there's no cracks, like I always tell people, sometimes there's like cracks in the handle. You got to make sure the handle is good. You're not going to make a lot of, like, you're not going to make a fortune on a Starbucks mug, but I can tell you the Starbucks mugs sell. Um, what else? There's just stuff you just get familiar with when you're walking around. Like I can, like for example, like I do a lot of appliance parts, so I can look at like if I'm driving by somebody's house and I see a dishwasher on the curb, I can
yeah.
say, well, that, you know what, I know that brand part sells, so I'll take that dishwasher. There's other brands that don't sell. It's
Mm.
just getting familiar with what to sell. And as you well know, you've been here long enough. We love our stuff here in America. We love storage units, and this is probably something totally foreign to you, but we love accumulating
Yeah,
all this
totally.
stuff. I'll just say that. I could say other words, but and
Yeah.
then we pass this stuff on to our family when we pass on. But we love, and I was guilty of that too, but not anymore because I have a very small. My house is much smaller than what it was before in Raleigh, but people have a lot of stuff. Everybody has at least, I'd say, they say it's 5,000, but I'll be nice and I'll say at least $3,000 of stuff that they could sell in their house right now.
Okay. So now my question is, in your courses, or when you work as a tutor or coach or whatever you call it, do you teach that as well? Can it even be taught, or what skills do you teach?
It, yeah, yeah, it can be taught. What I really focus on is how to create the best listing on eBay for your item, because
Ah,
that's what will sell your item,
okay.
and the oddball items sell the best. I'll give you an example. I just sold the knobs on a stove, the
Yes,
on off
yes.
knobs, to make it hotter, make it cooler, make it. So I saw this old stove in my development because I go around trash day and see what's out there. And it was sitting out, and I thought, I don't want to take the whole darn stove. I'll just pull the knobs off. And I came home and I took a picture of them and I looked on. There's a thing called Google Lens that you can look up. It just shows you what it is. And I went, oh wow. And these knobs were selling on eBay for $57 for four. These are
Huh.
just plastic knobs, but they're very vintage knobs. I didn't even know it. So I listened to them. I thought, nobody in their right mind is going to pay $57 for these knobs.
Yeah.
So they sat on eBay for a couple of weeks, and I just sold them the other day. Somebody offered me $47 for them. And of course I took it. So there's things like that. The odder things sell. One time I sold a binder, a 3-ring binder, but
Uh-huh.
it was a thick binder and it actually had hinges on it. It was a cardboard, real thick binder for $67. This is just a regular binder. And I'm going, who the heck would buy this? And the more I researched, I found that the car dealerships buy these to hang all the keys inside with notes about the car with the sleeve inside. And they put the keys in because that's something that will hold up, with all the abuse of car dealerships doing with, opening and closing a binder, selling and buying cars. I'm thinking, wow, there's a market for these ancient binders that I had that, I think I actually acquired from a job they were throwing out 30, 40 years ago. So yeah, oh, excuse me. Like I teach people what to look for, stuff like that. But it's more of creating the best eBay listing you can, and also how to shoot that listing out to social media, out to Facebook business page, Instagram, Pinterest, and stuff like that.
Okay. And so, how do people realize that it's good for them to hire somebody who teaches them that stuff instead of trying to figure it all out? What do your clients usually say? What they struggle with and how they find you?
They like how easy I am to talk to, and they also find that I'm real easy to work with. You can, in all honesty, on YouTube, you could probably learn all this stuff on YouTube, but like how often are we looking at YouTube and not progressing in what we're trying to do? And what I do is like I'll have, um, I recommend a minimum of a 2 hour class. The first class, 1 hour is a little tight. There's not that much time to do anything, and then we meet in about a week or two, and I
Uh-huh.
let the student work on their eBay listing, do some research on some items they may have around the house, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. Because I go through everything. I go through not just listing, packing, shipping, how to ship it, what carriers to use, and stuff like that. And sometimes I'll be honest with some people come back and they go, "I really didn't do anything." Okay,
Yeah.
that happens. I've been guilty of that too, and we work on that. Okay, so why didn't you do anything?
Yeah.
And we're like, well, it only takes a few minutes to do that. Yeah.
I know. No, I totally get it because I also work with people on the language side and
Hmm.
other also life coaching. But yeah, that life happens and there are
Yeah.
various reasons why people don't accomplish their their goals. Um, I commented on one of those posts that you made on Facebook, and you responded by saying, I wouldn't have been able to do this without Toastmasters. But I
Right.
think that you meant that you wouldn't have been able to do this, meaning teaching and courses.
Being in front of people, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there's a real quick story I'll tell. Kind of embarrassing, but hey, whatever. I'm an open book. I helped Martin Brossman a lot. We did a lot of eBay classes, Amazon classes. He did social media, and I did the eBay side. So we always combined our classes, and we went to a lot of community colleges in North Carolina. But way back when I was really young in this, like, oh my gosh, 2002 maybe, he had me do one or two, and I was really not sure what I was doing. He sent me out. His mom wasn't doing well, and he had to run up to DC, and he goes, do me a big favor, do this eBay class at this college. I'll say, I won't even give the name.
Yeah.
So I went out there and I just messed it up, to be honest with you, to the point where the director kind of told me to leave. I'll be honest with you.
Mm,
It just, I don't know what happened. And
okay.
then that's when I thought, man, I gotta do something. And I floundered around a little bit, and I worked on, working in front of people. And then I found, like I said, Toastmasters really gave me the confidence to be in front of people. And now I love it. It's just, like I feel like that picture, like I said, I'm in my happy place. I love showing people and teaching people how to do it. But yeah, that was a real wake up call
Yeah.
with everything, with my speaking and I think my life too. It was quite embarrassing. So,
So yeah, you
hey,
started out by trying things out on eBay, selling on your own, and that was more like a job. But now this courses thing, it's really has become your business. But I think that what I like about what you're saying, there are a lot of people who cannot speak in front of an audience, and that eBay thing that you are teaching, that doesn't require people speaking, right?
no, no,
Yeah.
nope, not at all.
Yeah,
Not
because
at
I
all.
have had yeah, go ahead.
No, there were times where people would come to my, my monthly meeting when I was in Raleigh. And I mean, they were kind of shut-ins, I'll be honest with you. And they would openly say, well, this is the only time I get out. Now, that's
Yeah.
not my gig. I mean, like I like getting out. I'm a people person, but some people don't get out. And I was their
Yeah.
only, So,
And
you don't have to talk to anybody.
yeah, that is wonderful because there are some people who would never be able to talk. And I have had guests here on this podcast who also teach how to start a business with very little investment, and that is affiliate marketing. But that does require you to go online and sell the thing.
Right,
But what you are
right.
teaching doesn't. And you can
No, no.
start with
Right,
probably no
right.
money at all, just with
Well,
stuff that you have at home.
I mean, you need to buy like a scale to weigh your stuff, which is like
Ah,
$20 on eBay, a tape gun, some tape, some boxes. I mean, we're talking probably in the end, maybe just a couple $100 maybe. And I'm not even saying like, there's ways of getting stuff cheaper too. You can look for boxes on Facebook. There's always people moving. There's
yeah.
boxes you can find in the trash, in dumpsters. There's ways to do it real cheap. You don't need a lot of money to get this, to start doing this. The whole thing is learn how to do it right. Make your mistakes early because that's how you're going to learn. And just make sure you're packing your things well. Pack it like the way you would want to receive the item. And don't,
Mm.
and the minute you find something like, I don't know, like this scrunchy golf ball, let's just say, don't list it. Think, how am I going to ship this? Because a lot of people get stuck with, oh, I found this great chair and I'm going to sell it on eBay. Well, how the heck are you going to ship that chair if you have to, I mean, if you
Yeah.
sell that chair, this I know how to ship, you know what I mean? But even if you
Yeah.
don't know, look at how, like, okay, am I going to box this up? Am I going to, I don't know, put an envelope? I mean, you have to think of, and always pack it, like I said, like the way you want to receive it. And some people
Yeah.
get real crazy with the packing and they put little tissue paper and little things in there. I just pack it the best I can. I'm a
Right.
guy, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be doing tissue paper.
And
But
and
yeah,
it
so
still
it's
works. Yeah.
right. And it's very affordable. It's,
I
and there's
love it
nothing wrong with
because
affiliate marketing either. I mean, you make a lot of money doing affiliate marketing if that's your gig. I mean, if that's, you know,
yeah. Yeah. And it's not for everybody. Yeah.
no, it isn't. It isn't. You got to be a real like, yeah, you got to be a real salesman to do it. Like I said, there's nothing wrong. I'm not downing it, but
Yeah.
because like I said, I know people that do very well in it, and I know people that just have always struggled with doing it. But it's like anything, it's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I totally get it because I can speak, but I can speak about certain topics. I would struggle selling facial creams because it's just not me. It's not
right,
me.
right, right. Yeah, I understand.
Well, another thing, if you are serious about starting a gig like this, do you need to register an limited liability company, or how do you start? Like, what paperwork you need to have in place?
Well, at least, I recommend that you definitely have a separate bank account, whether
Hmm.
it be, I would do a business account, but I would not have everything go into my personal checking or my personal savings. You want that separate. And I just have a sole proprietorship myself. LLC will give you some more protection, and being incorporated will give you even more. But you may, and if you're selling your own things, I wouldn't worry. I mean, that's up to you. I wouldn't worry about insurance, but I also do. I forgot to say, when I was in Raleigh, I did a lot of consignment for people where that's another avenue too. People can go down with selling on eBay. If you don't have any items, which I can't believe you don't have any items to sell in your house, but let's just say you don't, and and you just ask around. Real estate agents, home organizers, I mean, are a huge source for that. But then again, you need to be able to take these items in to your possession. You have to have a place to store them. Then you got to go
Uh-huh.
through them and you got to sell them. And you're not going to make what you could make if you found that item out in the wild somewhere. But then again, you're not going out and spending your time. I mean, I do 50-50 split with consignment, almost to
Okay.
no matter what the cost of the item is. If it's a $50 cost, it's $25. If it can be a couple $100, I just sold a fishing rod for somebody for almost $500 the other day. It's some
Okay.
fancy old fly rod. I don't know what the heck it is, but I sold it. So that's another way to bring in, I mean, to get business doing consignment for people, but you got to be real careful with that.
Well, those are some great ideas. Now, I'm just thinking, how are you keeping track of everything? Do you also teach some kind of bookkeeping? how to not get lost and
I
how
should.
you
I
don't.
use QuickBooks. I use
Ah,
QuickBooks basically, and it just imports all my bank information. And I use an accountant. I just give him the P&L and whatever reports he wants, and I hand
uh-huh.
it to him, and he handles it. To be honest with you, I should. Um, there are programs out there that are really, really good to use, but I don't. I just
Uh-huh.
I should, because I know I'm not taking advantage of all the tax credits and all the the deductions that I should be taking.
Maybe I gave you an idea.
Nah, yeah, maybe it did. Yeah, smack me on the hand a little bit. Yeah, okay. Get your taxes under
No,
control.
I'm just curious because I'm trying to imagine uh, how I would, what questions I would probably have and how would I would start. Now, then another thing, how about visual presentation? Do you teach anything about that and photography, or how do you do that?
What do you mean, like photographing the item, like showing how to
Yes,
photograph the
yes, yes.
item?
Uh-huh.
You want to use a well, I use my phone, just my phone for all my pictures. I don't have a separate camera. I don't have a studio. I don't have a photo studio.
Yeah.
I actually use my laundry room, and I put a now eBay is always changing this. Before it was any color you can use as a background is good. Then they went to no, white background is good, because eBay also exports all their listings out to Google Shopping every day. So you've
Mm.
got two avenues. You've got eBay, like when you Google an item, sometimes you'll see an eBay listing. That's
Uh-huh.
why. So then they said white, because it'll get on Google Shopping. Now they're saying it can be any color, back to any color, but I prefer white. I do the first picture with a white background, and then I switch the background if I want. And just make sure you have only the item, again with the golf ball, only this item in the picture. A lot of people show, like, I mean, I don't have anything else on my desk to show, like, over here, this and a coffee cup, and they're selling the golf ball.
Yeah.
Because whatever's in that picture, I mean, legally or technically, is what you're selling. So,
Wow.
and just take good pictures, take all angles of the, oh, here's something. Hang on. Here's and what this is on my desk, a wooden duck for some reason. And just take all pictures, all angles of it, any damage, be upfront with any damage that's on the item. Don't try and hide it, because the buyer is going to find it when they buy the item, and just be upfront with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just, pictures can be real simple. You can do them on your phone. You don't need a fancy camera. Even the older phones work just fine. And then I just upload them onto my eBay listing.
Yeah. So in the letter that you wrote to me, the bio that you wrote to me, it was, by the way, really well written. You also said that you help small business owners to
Hmm.
create additional income stream. Talk
Right.
about that a little bit.
Sure. There were, when I was in, again, everything was in Raleigh. It's like I moved down here to do nothing. When I was in Raleigh, I actually hooked up with I call him a friend. Law, I've known him forever, and he started a very small body shop, and then he bought a bigger body shop. Then he bought a body shop, service station, gas station thing, and then he bought a car dealership. And now he has many car dealerships in Raleigh, and he had just one at the time. And he called me and he goes, I have a situation where I have this huge room full of parts. Basically, the body shop gets a part and they forget to return it to
Mhm.
like it's a wrong part, or well, they really
Yeah.
didn't need it, and it gets tossed aside, and the parts house won't take it back again because it's past the 30 days or whatever. And I went to look, and I mean, there was a room of, all I saw was money when I walked into this room, because car parts sell very well on eBay if you know how to list them. So we worked
Uh-huh.
out a deal. I did a consignment deal with him for a couple of years, and then that was a case where he said, "Okay, great, thanks so much. I appreciate all you've done, but I want to pass this on to an employee and let him do his job. And when he's got nothing to do at work, he can focus on this, and we can give him a 20% cut of what he sells." So I ended up training that employee on how to do eBay and everything, and so that was good. I've done that for that car dealership, and I've done it for a few other businesses in Raleigh. And I actually am starting. Oh, I forgot. I'm starting. I created a relationship with another auto body place right down the street from here in Florida that I've
Yeah.
sold a few things for. So there is money out there, and there's, especially businesses have a lot of stuff laying around
Yeah.
that they could sell.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I heard the sentence you said, you can make a lot of money if you know how to do the listing properly,
Right,
right?
right, exactly.
And
And that's where I come in at.
exactly, that's where you come in.
That's right.
That was my hint. I wanted to hint
There
at
we go.
Okay, Paul. Is there anything else that you would like to share that you want people to know? Or just go ahead and tell people how to find you and how you,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Well, I have the website is onlinesellingsuccess.com. And I also have a YouTube channel, and it's just my name, Paul Apollonia, Apollonia, all together. And there's a lot of eBay tips on there, what I sold, what I found in the trash, how much I made off an item I found in the trash. There's eBay, and I also do a lot of Chromebook videos on there. I'm a big Chromebook user, and I also do a lot of basic do-it-yourself videos, nothing complicated. Just how to replace something in the toilet, or how to fix a faucet and stuff like that. But it's mainly focused on eBay. And I my email address is Paul dot and then his same last name Apollonia @gmail.com. And my eBay store is I'll have that in the bio. I forget the actual spelling of it, to be honest with you, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'll give that to you. I
I
should know
will,
that.
yeah, that's fine. I will leave all that information around this video. Either it will be on YouTube, it will be both on YouTube and also in show notes of my podcast, She Became
Okay.
CEO. Paul, this was really, really valuable, especially for those people like we talked at the very beginning who have limited resources right now and they need to make some income. And this is a wonderful option how to start. Thank you so
Yes, it
much.
is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And I want to thank you seriously from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that you reached out to me to be on the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. It's really nice of you to do it. And boy, we go back a long ways, don't we?
Yes, we do. No, the pleasure was mine indeed, sincerely, because
Okay.
not everybody can, like I said, can buy into a franchise. So yeah, this was
That's right.
great. This
You're
was
right.
great. Okay, thank you, and have a wonderful
Okay.
day. And I was glad to get back in touch with you
Cool.
like
Yeah.
not in person, but at least on Zoom.
Right. Wonderful. Well, it's kind of in person.
Yes, yes.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
I hope this conversation sparked some ideas within you. If you want to hear more down to earth conversations like this, please comment and tell me so, and I will try to find the guest to respond your needs. Also, you're welcome to contact me personally if you need help trying to figure out how to structure your business and how to keep track of your stuff without overburdening yourself, which is something that Paul said he's not teaching just yet. But now I will wrap it up, saying bye-bye till the next time.